Hey friends, so today we thought we would focus on using old food to create new meals. We all have those times where I'm sure you buy food and you think, yeah, I'm going to eat this, but then you don't really get round to it, or it just seems to slip under the radar. Now, we hate wasting food here at Friends with Salad, so we thought we'd give you some nice handy tips as to how to use some of those fresh fruit and veg that aren't so fresh anymore. Okay, so what we're going to make today is banana bread. Now, these overripe bananas are not too nice to look at, nor they're really nice to eat at this stage. However, they work perfectly in a cake or some muffins. What you're going to need is about a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, about 1 3/4 cup of self-raising flour, about 1/4 cup of plain flour, 2 eggs, which will be lightly beaten. You'll need 2/3 cup of brown sugar, packed in quite tightly so you get the benefit. 50 grams of butter, melted and then cooled, and 1/2 cup of milk. And of course you're going to need 2 overripe bananas, which we'll mash on later. Now you're going to also need to preheat your oven to 180 degrees and just lightly grease a loaf tin. What you're going to need to do first is take the 2 bananas, peel them, make sure you haven't got any of the little strings left on the side. As you'll see, they're quite squishy at the moment. And just grab them out of there. Yeah, try and get all those little bits off. And what we're going to do is just mash these so that they're ready to go straight into our mixture, because it's quite an easy mixture to just throw together. It's a really good one to keep in the fridge, or if you make muffins, you can always freeze them for weeks to come. Just make sure we get all the little horrible bits out of it. And all you need to do is take a fork and neatly mash those. Okay, the softer they are, obviously, the easier it's going to be. And these are about midway overripe. So just get that all mashed up. Mix it around. Okay, until you have a fairly soft, I suppose, baby food texture. I'll just show you that there. You can see it's pretty goopy. Now, then what you're going to need to do is you take a fairly decent sized bowl. We're going to put the flours through a sifter. So we have our sifter here. We're going to sift those flours. So we've got our self-raising flour. And we have our, just a little bit of that go through. And we have our plain flour. And we might need just a little bit of help to get those last little bits through for the plain flour. Okay. And in that separate bowl, we shall add the sugar as well. We're going to mix that through. So we just get a nice spoon and we mix it through and just create what we call a little well in the middle of it. Once you've kind of combined those fairly evenly, you kind of push a bit of the mixture just out to the side of the bowl. I don't know if you can see it there, but you just push it out to the side so that there's this little hole in the middle so that we can put our wet mixture in once we've actually mixed it. Now, I'm just going to put that to the side and I'm going to take the banana again. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the butter, we're going to pour that in there. It's now cooled off a bit. And we're going to take our eggs and we're just going to lightly crack those into our smaller bowl. Now, easy tip to do it is you just hit your egg on the side, just tap it, put your fingers to the side and just pull, and that egg should just drop in nice and neatly. We can take our fork from before and just give it a quick whisk, just so that it's lightly beaten. Doesn't need to be whisked around. Place it over there. And we just pour that into our mixture. Now we also are going to pour in 1/2 cup of milk into that. I'm using a full cup and I'm just going to estimate, I suppose, 1/2 cup and place that into the mixture. Then we just want to stir that around a little bit. I'm going to combine that in itself. just being careful not to spill it everywhere. So we've got a nice mixture that we're going to add into a little well of dry mixture. This is a great one as well if you've got kids that want to get in the kitchen and have a bit of fun. You can always get them mixing things, just get them a bigger bowl obviously than what I am mixing in. It's always a bit of fun to play with the goopy materials. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add the cinnamon as well. So I've got my tablespoon here, sorry, dessert spoon, and I'm just going to put about half of that in there. Never have enough cinnamon, I say. Okay, and just make that well again. And we're just going to pour our wet mixture into the middle of our dry mixture. So just making sure we get every little bit out. And we're just going to slowly just mix that into each other. Hopefully getting a nice even consistency for our cake. Again, always a really fun one for kids to come and get involved in if you've got kids. If not, then unfortunately you'll be mixing alone. Now, if you've got any old carrots even lying around, you can add a little bit of grated carrot to this if they're just sitting in the fridge, or even some sultanas or walnuts. Turn it into a bit of a fruit cake. It's quite a thick batter, so it will hold those items when it cooks, so they won't all sink to the bottom. So it might have a few banana obstacles to get through. Then all we need to do is take our previously greased tray, our loaf tray, and we just need to pour that mixture carefully into our loaf tray. Just let it kind of fold in if we can. Hoping that it's all mixed at the bottom. And making sure you get all of that mixture into our baking tray. And just spread that around evenly into the tray, pushing it down into the sides because it is a thick mixture and it's a bit like a batter more so than a cake mix. We'll just push that down into the sides. And a great way to know that you haven't got air bubbles is just to drop it a few times, let it really kind of soak in, and then it's nice and loud for you. And then all we need to do is pop it in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes and we'll take it out and see what you think. The other thing you can do is if you've got a spare banana, you can always slice it in half and just place it on the top. Give it a nice decoration with a little bit more cinnamon. Okay, so there we have it, guys. That's been 45 to 50 minutes in the oven, and our cake, our banana cake, is ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a butter knife. I'm just going to make sure I go around the outside, just scoring around, making sure that it's definitely free from the sides, so that we can flip it onto our plate. And all I'm going to do is take a decent size plate or serving dish, hold it with my hand, and just tap the top of the tin. Hopefully that will free it from the base so that we can have our cake come out perfectly clean. And we just take that and we'll place it on our, and here you have it, is a nice banana cake. So at least we have used our overripe bananas to create a beautiful dish that is easy to store, easy to eat, good for the kids, and we're not wasting anything. So really happy to help you out with this one, friends, and I hope you really enjoy our recipe. Talk to you soon.